Opportunity to get to know the candidates better. And what I've asked Mark and Danielle's writing an article, Mark is going to videotape this, and I've asked him to hold on to this until next week, until Philip has the opportunity to where he doesn't have an unfair advantage. And then what we'll do is we'll flip a coin and determine which one of them get online, and the articles will be there parallel, I'm sure. But we just didn't want to give one candidate more advantage than the other. And let me be honest with you, you are the movers and shakers here in this county. And I felt like it was so important that you get to know these candidates, and some who've been in office, some who've never been in office. We just want you to get to know them personally to where we can answer these questions. And we have these questions provided, different ones you brought up last week. So let me introduce you to John Osborne. And I'm going to ask him to introduce himself, tell a little bit about his family and the like, and then we'll go down through as many of these questions as we can in the next 20 minutes, okay? John, come be with us. Welcome, John, here to Rick. I'll give you something to lean on there. John, if you will, tell us who you are, tell us about your family, tell us about your county relationship.
Well, my name's John. Born in Lawrence County, and run the Old Ridge Oil Station. Shut down in January, but I've been in the business for 34 years here in Lawrence County. My wife, Marcia, she drives a school bus for Lawrence County. And my boy, Jacob, he's in the 8th grade. I've been here all my life in Lawrence County.
Okay. Again, I've known John. John served our families and our community, not just for the 34 years, but we had a relationship through the Christian school. And John, let me just go ahead and start through the questions. What experience do you bring that makes you a good candidate for the post of County Judge Executive? What type of managerial leadership experience have you had?
Well, I feel I've had 34 years of business experience. And I think our county needs to be run just like a business. I mean, it should be business. I've had 34 years of dealing with people, relation with people, and I get along with people, and they like me. So. And the main thing, I have 34 years of handling other people's money. I've worked for 4 different companies and I have a good track record, and I think somebody handling the taxpayer money should be good at handling. And I feel like I do a good job handling.
Okay. What about, I know living here and growing up here and raising your family here, what plans do you have to develop infrastructure development within the county? Water lines, sewer lines, property development, work with AEP. I'm not sure exactly what they meant by that question, but what do you think, what plans do you have if you're elected over the next 4 years that you'd like to see accomplished in the way of expanding the county?
Well, I've talked to Rocky Atkins a couple of things we've had, and we definitely need more sewer. He said they got more plants, more sewer, and more water. And the roads right now, I mean, a lot of roads need to get back to the basics because they're just tore up. They're in bad shape, weed road up. But we need to get our county back in line as far as getting cleaned up. But we also want to see it grow. I mean, we need jobs, even if it's 10 jobs or here, 10 jobs there. We need small companies, whatever, to bring you here to make jobs, to make our county grow. I think it gets right here.
When you think about that, one of the things that Carl brought up, and I think he must live off of Spankham Branch Road. You know where Carl lives?
Yeah.
He says, as is common knowledge, there are several large restaurants wanting to build on the bypass in Louisa. And the folks have questioned that, haven't they, Faith? Some, okay. Yet our dry laws, wet and dry issues, prevents our, this was not a question that I penned, okay. Also, many surrounding counties are gaining great tax revenue for the sale of alcohol, but we're having to raise people property taxes. I'm not sure what that means. People's property taxes, I would say. And would you just kind of address that? Would you support Louisa going wet or moist? And let me just stop that. There's one other addendum question to that.
Well, that's going to be a hot topic. I've already talked to a few Christian people and preached about that. Me, myself, I'm not a drinker. I know some people like to drink a meal with the beer with the meal. And I've been already coached about this problem. And I told him that's something, you know, we'd have to bring before the people and see. Because, and some of them tells me now, we'll have to just dig deeper into it, that you can zone, and most of the zoning, because since it be going up there in the plaza, like where Walmart is, it will be just the people in that district be voting on it. It won't be a countywide vote. And the guy told me, he said, you can do that, and then he said, you know, you can have to work, they have to have like a 200-person city, and that will keep, you know, like anything else, trying to come in with beer joint stuff, because I definitely don't want alcohol places in Moss County.
Sure.
And then somebody told me, he said, well, you know, Paintsville has increased their revenue of bringing in taxes like Friday for so many $1,000. And then somebody said, well, you know, Fort Gate, all these years we've heard that. Well, they get the taxes and they get this, and we get the drunks and we get the trash. But, like somebody else said, you look at Fort Gate, I mean, it's not really a booming community. They've had beer for years. So I just think it's something we have to get there and work on together. You know, personally, like I said, I'm not for alcohol. But maybe if we can pertain that one restaurant, if it would come there, and maybe just have 1 or 2 family restaurants, and then let that be up to the people. Maybe put on some kind of voting thing.
Actually, you've answered that second, that's addendum question. It says, will you support the question being put on the ballot for our voters to decide the issue? And you've already answered that. Yeah. That it really is, it is driven by the populace of the county. And I appreciate that. What will you do, and this is the Carl Gullett question, because I think they're having some problems with logging on Spankin Branch Road. What would you do to keep loggers from doing major damage to our roads? And what will you do to fix the roads that they've already damaged? I know that in recent past, in other places that we've been, there was a bond that was required to be put up when they started logging in certain areas that would require them to haul within the weight limits, and if they did the damage, then they would be responsible for covering that too. So the question is, what would you do to keep the loggers from doing damage, and then what will you do to fix the roads that are already in bad shape?
Well, one's in bad shape right now, no doubt we'll get stuck to fix it because they're already tore up, no money there. So you just have to want to do the best you can to try to fix them back. As far as future stuff, we want people coming in, like I said, and spreading money. But if they're coming in and damaging our road and costing us money, I don't think that's right. I think it should be a bond. I mean, if it's a company coming in like a high, I think it's outfit out what he's talking about, that from a high, and they tore that road all pieces. Gas company's been in there doing a lot of work, and they tore it all pieces. And here's just the poor people with big old hooped up mill and have to drive around. I mean, and I think it should be a bond set. If they're going to come in and make big money, they should be giving some of it back to us to cover our damages.
Well, isn't that ability already on the books to require bonds like that?
I always thought it was on there years ago, but either they're letting it slide or they took it back off, because I always thought it was supposed to be a bond.
In that area there, it might be a county attorney issue too, to hold their feet to the fire. If it is on the law. Chris, do you know anything about that?
That issue's come up in fiscal court several times. In the last several years ago, they were talking about the situation, and they never go nowhere with it about bonding. There was a lot of legal aspects that they had to go through in order to do that, and it kind of died off. I know when they put the oil and gas in just a while back, a few years ago, they actually paid the county money to take the roads fixed back, but not every company does that. It should be fair. Like
Okay.
I think it should be qualified.
Right. Appreciate that. Bill, remember that again next week. Okay. What can the county government do to promote economic development? Developing businesses, small or industry or whatever. What envision do you have of helping the county be friendly to new businesses?
Well, we just have to put it out there that we welcome. You know, we can sit down and work with them to where we can bring in small business. I hope to get people going. And we just have to show them that we're welcome and we're ready to go. You know, we've got this new railroad thing over in West Virginia to where we can just drive across and load and everything. I said, so we've got a lot of good ways of getting stuff to transport. In 645, it's pretty well, they talk about getting ready to junction on any duration, you know.
Right.
So there's more development there. So I think we can get a lot of things in here. We just welcome them in.
Do you think the county is marketed what I hear you saying is we need to do a better job of marketing our county. Is that what I'm
I think so.
Okay. Lastly, what do you think our biggest challenge would be what would your biggest challenge be for the new county judge executive? What do you think, as you look into the future, what would be the biggest difficulty that you feel like the county judge position raises?
Well, I think we work together. I don't think we have a big challenge. I think we just need to get to work together. I think we can do it.
Okay.
People just need to work together, quit fighting each other, and get together and work. I think we can grow. I think we can grow together. Challenges together. I think we can beat each other.
Appreciate that. We've established these questions. Same ones will be asked next week to Philip Carter. Would you have one or two other questions? We have a little bit more time.
I've got a question, John.
Go right ahead.
I don't know whether it's still a factor or not, but one of the things the county judges used to complain about was having to spend so much money to buy gravel for the county roads. Back then, my suggestion was, let's start a program, say taking half the money that we were going to use to buy gravel and pave a few miles of road. And eventually, we would not have to buy gravel.
Well,
is that program still in effect? I don't know.
I've been checking with this guy from Mountain Engineering. He stopped down at the station treasury spot. So I've been asking, see, back when Clyde Johnson's down, he doing all the chip and seal.
Yeah.
Well, chip and seal is a good thing, but the only thing is they cut the tar down and then plus it broke up. That guy from out here told me, he said, if you put that tar down certain thickness, gravel, thick, and do it twice. He said that road will hold up for years, and then 4 or 5 years. And I said, is it people? He said, Carter County does it all the time. He said it's a whole lot cheaper than blacktop and built a whole lot based on the road. So I'm going to look into more of the chip and seal. It's a lot cheaper, like you said. You can probably do a road for what you can keep buying these gravels and just wash it off. So I think it'd be beneficial to go with this.
Okay.
One of the other things, as a county judge, without bringing a lot of politics into it, the city and the county seem to fight each other all the time. Okay?
Welcome to my hometown.
And I don't know why. I mean, it's like a couple of families fighting each other.
Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah, what do you think you can do to bring us a little closer together? Because the city can't do it by itself, the county can't do it by itself. If we get together, we can carry a much bigger stick. How do you propose to do that?
Maybe we just have to sit down and start talking it out and see what we can do. That'd be some agreement come to on something. Because they ain't going nowhere like they are now. So.
No, that's true.
Like I said, if you want growth, you got to have them all working together.
Okay.
One more question. Anybody else? Okay, you satisfied? John, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's get on. You heard Aaron lead us in the four-way test, and that's one of the foundational philosophies of Rotary. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Sounds like that'd be good for the county and the city.
Yes.
And if we do that, John, we want to give you that as a memento. And thank you for coming and helping us. Thank you. John will stay around as long as you need to.
One more thing to draw my ticket.
Yeah, draw a ticket out there for split the pot.
Read the last 3 digits.
3, I can get it here. 340. 340. There you are.